Starfish troopers. Starfish troopers.
Consonant
Y.
and another consonant,
W.
a vowel
A.
and a consonant
N.
and a consonant.
And K.
Okay.
Moment is that all allies are making clear that any actions that undermine the democracy in Georgia, or to take democracy further, also on its road to more EU and NATO integration, Euro-Atlantic integration, so to say, that they really urge the Georgian government to stay on the path they decided a couple of years ago to be active on and not to retreat.
The United States still had compelling forms of leverage on the table to shape an outcome that was more conducive and protective of U.S. interests. And we identified four. So the first one was the 1/3 of Syrian territory that was owned via the U.S. military with its local partner, the Syrian Democratic Forces. Now, this was a light footprint on the U.S. military, only about 1,000 troops over the course of the Syria Study Group's report, and then the tens of thousands of forces, both Kurdish and Arab, under the Syrian Democratic Forces. And that 1/3 of Syria is the resource-rich, it's the economic powerhouse of Syria. So where the hydrocarbons are, which obviously is very much in the public debate here in Washington these days, as well as the agricultural powerhouse. But we argued that it wasn't just about this 1/3 of Syrian territory that the U.S. military and our military presence owned, both to fight ISIS and also as leverage for affecting the overall political process for the broader Syrian conflict. There were three other areas of leverage. One is political and diplomatic isolation of the Assad regime, so holding the line on diplomatic isolation, preventing embassies from going back into Damascus. Two is the economic sanctions architecture. So some of this is part of the maximum pressure campaign of the Trump administration on Iran, but there's a whole suite of both executive and congressional sanctions on Syria and Bashar al-Assad, both for human rights abuses in Syria and to the backers of Assad for their activities in support of him in Syria. And three was reconstruction aid. So the United States remains the overall largest single donor of humanitarian aid to Syrians both inside Syria and refugees outside of Syria. And there was some stabilization assistance in the part of Syria that was liberated from ISIS and controlled via the Syrian Democratic Forces in northern eastern Syria. The rest of Syria, though, is rubble.
I'm in fucking Sainsbury's in Portsmouth, yeah? What the fuck's that? On top of Red Bulls? Seriously? Why are they putting them on Red Bulls? What? Mate, look at all these security things they've got. What world are we living in now where you have to put a security tag on a fucking £2.75 Red Bull? Seriously? Seriously, guys?
Australia's largest bank will start charging customers for withdrawing their own money. Commonwealth Bank has announced it'll slug customers $3 for taking out cash at its branches, post offices or by phone, despite insisting it has no plans to go cashless. It comes as the company reveals it spent $410 million on cash services last financial year.
I have a really weird story. So this guy, his name is Cliff High. It was 1997. He developed this software program called WebBot. And what it would do, it would scan the entire internet, collect data. It would make predictions for the stock market. But then he delved into it a little more. It was just like, let's see what else it can predict. In 2009, it came up with a prediction of the future that there was going to be a battle in the air with the military and UFOs, and that even UFOs would be fighting UFOs.
Whoa.
But there had to be a trigger to
set it in motion.
Yeah, set it in motion. It said that when this trigger happens, then 39 days later, this prediction will come true. Here's the crazy part. 2009. The trigger was Donald Trump would be interviewed by Joe Rogan.
Bro, no.
Nuh-uh.
No way, dude. That's crazy.
FBI is now getting involved in an investigation into these mysterious, apparently small car-sized drones that people are spotting flying over New Jersey in the middle of the night. Look at this. One woman there took the video you're seeing. So that's it. It looks like it's flying pretty low. And from that perspective, it looks very large, right? And all those lights in the sky that you see there, see those lights? Those are apparently drones as well, they say, seeming to fly in a V formation, with the whole saga stressing people out nearby.
We're all completely unnerved. I didn't sleep last night. When I would get up and look out my window at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., they were still hovering. I got up at 5:30 this morning and they were still there. As the sun was starting to rise, they went back in the same direction they came from. And I expect they'll be back as soon as the sun goes down tonight.
Let's bring in Tom Winter. What's up with the mysterious drones, Tom?
Right, Allie. Well, not to go all Scully and Mulder on us here.
Do it.
Law enforcement is concerned about this. They have put out a statement, the local sheriff's office and local prosecutor's office in Morris County. So Morris County, New Jersey, pretty much the kind of the center of where this activity has been occurring, along with Somerset County. So they're about an hour-ish west of here. Don't throw things at your screen. I know that it can be double that amount of time given traffic, but just to give folks a sense of where we are in referring to New York City. As far as the size of them, multiple eyewitnesses have reported, and obviously we've seen the video here, you've just pointed it out, the size of these, it's not quite clear to law enforcement that they are car-sized at this point, but they do not appear to be kind of the homemade type that would fit on a desk. Whether or not they're the kind that would fit in a garage, well, that's going to be a bigger question. They really want the evidence here, Hallie. They want to be able to get their hands on this or know where they are flying from in an effort to try to figure out, okay, who's doing this, what are they about, and what are they specifically looking at? But officials in New Jersey stress, look, there's no indication at this point that they're a threat to the public. We'd certainly like to know what's going on, and they are encouraging people to call these in.
Hi, everybody. What if I told you by the year 2027 you would need to have a digital ID in order to get online? Would you believe me? Because that's exactly what this is. The Pentagon creates roadmap for zero trust internet access by 2027. TN has examined this topic in detail several times. Ultimately, the only people who will be able to hop on the internet, regardless of the entry point, will first have to be definitively identified. This will require a personal registered ID comparable to an electronic passport. No digital ID? You don't use the internet. Got it? Every activity is tracked, cataloged, and saved. The military is paving the way for this.
I am Deimos. You think that you know me, but you do not. You think that you see me, but you cannot. You think that you hear me, but you will not. You think that you love me, but you do not. I am Deimos, and I will never die. I am Deimos. I am the ever-present. I am all that is combined in the things you fear most, and I hold them for you, and that is my love. My love contains the multitudes. My love is my purpose, because I am Deimos. You think you understand my threats, but you do not. You think that I am silent and sullied and uncertain, but I am not. I am Deimos. You think you know me. I am Deimos. I know everyone. I am Deimos, and I am a cloud that hangs in the ether.
Very specific. and not rounded amount of time. So, Hunter, I'll give you a pardon. Well, a few years, 5 years, 10 years. It needs to be 11.
I worked a case one time where they granted immunity in order to extract testimony from the person talking who was involved with my client. Here's how it works. If you've been granted immunity, the Fifth Amendment no longer applies. You cannot incriminate yourself when you've been granted blanket immunity over everything you did from ant to ant. Therefore, Hunter Biden can now be forced to testify against the big guy. And this is what everybody is missing. And this is where Joe totally screwed the pooch legally on this, is the immunity gets rid of that Fifth Amendment. So now when they ask Hunter Biden, they put him on the stand, if they do, and they ask, how much money did you launder through Ukraine to your dad? And he says, I'm taking the fifth. The judge can compel him to testify because he is immune from prosecution on that. And if he still refuses to testify, he can hold him in contempt and he can put him in jail until which point he decides to testify. Good one, Joe. Proving you're still a complete idiot.
And tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from two people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor. Right.
We'll have more on that detail in the panel. Peter, thank you.